The following spoiler-free video is about a game that contains scenes of blood and violence and is rated M for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. What makes Zero Time Dilemma unique? The third and final installment to the Zero Escape series has been released, capping off the trilogy. After years of waiting and many fans fearing it would never see the light of day, Zero Time Dilemma was announced at Anime Expo 2015. The announcement alone caused a wave of anticipation that lasted nearly a full year until the game's release in June 2016. With fans clamoring and commenting their excitement, it was inevitable to discuss how Kotaro Uchikoshi, Spike Chunsoft, and Axis Games chose to handle this momentous finale, and they did not disappoint. What makes Zero Time Dilemma unique is how it expanded on its already iconic framework and built it around a broader and more twisted narrative, giving the familiar adventure and an imaginative plot that both fans and newcomers can enjoy. Much to be expected, the game stars 9 people trapped in a facility with no choice but to play a game of life and death. The game is run by none other than the infamous Zero, the second to be exact. The 9 players are told that the only way to escape is through a door marked with an X. To open the door, they need 6 passwords, which will only be revealed one at a time for each player killed during the game. This sets up a bit of a different setting. Although the ideas of murder would normally be used to speed up the game, in this rendition, it seems to be required. It also brings a new mechanic. The 9 players are split into teams of 3, to which never change throughout the adventure. This shrouds the movements of the other players in mystery, and given how Zero separates each scene in the game to 90-minute segments where players lose their memories afterwards, the story feels just as convoluted as ever. It's no surprise that the reviews of the game decisively agree that this is the bloodiest and most unforgiving game in the series. Zero constantly recounts tales of tragedy brought on by misfortune, adding to the depressing setting of the game. With these stipulations and situations, players aren't just piecing together a mystery, but figuring out the order of the events in the game. Unlike previous installments, players don't take the role of one character, but rather get to jump between the 3 teams. C Team with Carlos, Akane, and Junpei, Q Team with Q, Eric, and Mira, or D Team with Diana, Sigma, and Phi. The player ultimately controls all the actions of the teams and how their decisions affect the outcomes of the others. Outside of the series' staple puzzle rooms, there are also the new decision games, which pit a character to make a tough choice that could easily kill other players in the game or members of their own team. Some don't even give players options, but rather just a name entry screen to make them spell out their intentions. This is where the game simultaneously makes the narrative easier to follow while still being difficult to figure out. It's easy to see where one decision leads to a different timeline for another team, but it also makes piecing together the mystery a lot harder due to many curveballs and unforeseen obstacles. Even the typed decisions require careful attention to detail. Players will ponder over every occurrence, and even up until the very end will they formulate theories and conjectures that try to piece together all the new information they collect. This narrative style of jumping between different points in time without any clear connection leaves players with a hefty mystery to solve. It's fitting because this is the end of the series and will answer so many long-standing unsolved questions. Fans can swoon and enjoy seeing their favorite characters finish their journey, while newcomers can be pleasantly surprised at the mystery and gruesome tones that the game has to offer. Zero Time Dilemma set out to do one thing: finish the trilogy and give the fans the closure that they deserved. For a finale, Uchikoshi and his team needed to end with a bang, and while answering the series' many mysteries, it also brought with it a new gameplay mechanic that intrigues both newcomers and longtime fans. It's not just a choose-your-own-adventure visual novel anymore, but instead offers a more linear plot that's broken up into a non-linear, twisted narrative. Not being afraid to deliver the darkest and most depressing title in the series, it built up the finale to have a big payoff. And as a PSA for longtime fans, it is highly recommended to read some of the post-game literature in the cinema files. A series that brought such a fresh and exciting story to players back in 2010 is still held up as one of the most beautifully written and twisted tales in recent history. Not being afraid to hide plot twists in plain sight and really toying with a player's emotions is just par for the course, to which the finale drove to a fitting conclusion. That is what makes Zero Time Dilemma unique. A quick shout out to the Zero Escape subreddit for their support on our first video on the Zero Escape series. In the year leading up to the game's release, their support made the video the second most viewed on the channel. From BeyondPolygons, thank you. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button, and if you'd like to see more videos that discuss what makes any video game stand out, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.